Hey everybody, I'm going to start talking about if statements and if else statements today. The real reason that this is so important is that it lets us make a choice. And in programs, we often want to do one thing or the other thing based on a set of conditions. So that's what if and else statements are going to let us do. But before we get into that, I just want to mention kind of the power of comments. And so comments are, if you remember, if I put two slashes onto my program, it'll kind of gray out a line, and then I can write whatever I want. So there's a lot of different ways to kind of take advantage of this, and people use them in a variety of ways. So I could just type in this program is about if statements. I leave myself a little one-line message, but another very popular thing to do is to kind of block out a section to leave yourself a longer message. So if I do a / and a star, notice how it kind of grayed out my entire program there. And that's because that is a multi-line comment. So if I put that / there, then it closes it down, and then anything in this little zone in here, will work. So if I take this, I'll just cut that out. Oops, cut out too much. Put a star back in. Okay, then I can put this in. This is about if statements. My name is Chris Bartlo. And this is pretty handy. So one of the things that I tended to do, and you can kind of decorate them if you want a little bit. I know a lot of people that like to kind of do this sort of thing. Sort of make a little banner box and maybe do something along these lines to really let you know that this is a zone for a comment or something. But the reason I say this is that I, for my homework, college and stuff, I, would do something like this. In this case, for college, I put in my class, CS5 or whatever, 50, 60, whatever I took. And then I would say, I put my name. You guys might want to put your period or something like that. Hey, you're in period 3. Good for you. And then I would say, assignment number 1, problem number 1. And I would do things like that just to kind of help me keep track of it. And when I was doing kind of fancier stuff, I'd often copy the problem right down here. So I just kind of have it to look at. For some of the short stuff, it doesn't make all that much sense. But for a longer problem, you might refer back to it a lot. And then going back, it helps you remember what you did. That's actually a big piece of comments in general, is that it really helps you pay attention to what you're doing. As we get to later assignments, I'll sort of force them on you. But I just want to show you now so you can get along with them. So, okay, so now that we have that, let's take a minute to look at the if statement. So, the if statement is kind of built in a pretty simple way. It is it looks like a sort of function. You'll notice that I'm going to use the smooth brackets, or parentheses if you want. And I might do something like this, where I make a value that is a guess. Because I'm going to play some sort of guessing game. Okay, so now I have some container that's going to hold my guess, and I might, put in, I'm going to, enter a guess. Even though this is a demo, I still don't like putting a C in statement without a C out statement. I just think that it's important to put them together. So anyways, so here is the setup. So now we are going to use some of our classic mathematical kind of comparison. So I could say, well, if guess is less than 11, then what am I going to do? Well, I put some of these little brackets. Here, you'll notice, I'll zoom in a little bit. that they're the curly braces that we used here. So curly braces in general are used to, if you have one of these compound sort of things where you conditionally say, hey, I'm going to trap all the code I want to run inside my curly braces. So I could do something like cout too low. And then I could, cout something else. Wow, you are a bad guesser. So those are, I can print out as much stuff as I want to do. I can have a whole, basically another program run. And so it's really, really powerful about the things that you can do. So there's a couple of things that I might want to have. Well, let's say I wanted something just else to happen. Maybe unsurprisingly, we type in the word else, and then we give an alternative piece of code. Okay? I'll cout, in fact, the number is bigger than 11. This time I'll use an escape character to end my line. So in general, what I tend to do, this one, see, I indented a little bit extra. Usually what I do is I put my brackets right there, and then I make one little tab on the inside here to kind of show that these things are inside. Okay? And actually, really to make my code look nice, I would sort of do this. So I have one tab in on the main. Here are the things that are inside main. Ooh, I got to an if statement. They're indented here. This makes a lot more sense when you have a lot of if statements, or if things are inside other ones. So then I could say, like for instance here, I could say, well, in fact, the number is bigger than 11. And then I could put another if statement in here, and then I could say if guess is equal to 27. Okay, I can cout correct. So there we go. So we have some code. We might as well check to see if it's working. Okay, awesome. So I enter a guess. Let's just do 33. In fact, the number is bigger than 11. So I got the, result, not quite what I wanted. Now let's see if I hit 27. Now, I didn't explain myself very well, but why did I put two equal signs here? Well, the two equal signs are what we use to check for equivalence or compare something. So you'll notice here that I used just a standard less than symbol to say, well, it's less than 11. Cool. Well, here I'm using two equal signs because we already have equal sign is taken up. For instance, if we did guess equals 9, it doesn't quite, well, I mean, that would assign 9 to guess, right? But that's not checking to see if guess is 9. It's saying B9, right? So here we don't want guess to be 27. We don't want to overwrite the contents of it. So we add in this extra equal sign to say we're just checking. We're not assigning. That is going to be one of your biggest errors that you're going to run into when you first go with these things. So this is the very simple version of this. You actually have one other choice that you could do. So let's say I wanted to check to see, well, if it was equal to exactly 27, and I could actually put it into one line. I could say else if guess equals 27, I'm going to have it print out correct, just like this, and then I would have like another else statement down here. So hopefully this is down here, and that is your simple, and then I'd have some code that runs down here. So here's kind of your setup for this. There's some other symbols you can do. You can do less than or equal to. You can do greater than or equal to. And probably the most important one is not equal to. Okay? So that not equal, that exclamation point in front of this is not equal to. Very valuable, very useful. We'll have a little part 2 here where we talk about some other things we can do. Thanks very much. Cheers.
Hello, hello.
I am hearing me.